Speaking of my role in Cipla, I was in FP&A, Financial Planning and Analysis, for the North American business units, to be specific. So we used to do the financial planning and analysis for the North American business unit. As a whole, Cipla, they were very vast units. Like for every country, they used to have a separate team, separate financial planning team, and there was a global financial planning team. But for and they all the data used to get merged to the global financial planning team. I was in the North American segment. My role was not exactly what like financial planning is. It was more inclined toward the analysis stuff. Okay, so analysis, as in I was rather like, of course, I'm an intern there. I couldn't be doing all the decision making. I have to do the number crunching, the analysis, the all the like. If there is any data, I have to find the trends in that. It was very different from what I was doing in my articleship, the audit and the taxation part, the consultation part. This is whole together a different stuff. This is the MBA's work. For example, I'll give you like example. I used to do the inventory analysis. It is about like stock is lying in our warehouse, and on the basis of further 4 months sales, I have to identify the potential expiry of that stock. I never did that thing in my articleship, but I was doing it. So yes, analysis was very important. Financial planning, there were very few times when I had discussions with the CFO as well. I gave him presentations about few stuff. Like there used to be a competition deck at the end of every quarter when the listed companies announce their results, right? So all there used to be a comparison between all the pharma companies. Cipla is a pharma company, you all must be knowing that. So I used to prepare a competition deck, and there used to be a discussion afterward with the CFO. Yeah, so it was there financial planning, but it was very limited because being an intern, you cannot make decisions in a company. It was more of an analysis part, right? Also, along with that, so as a financial planning team for the North American unit, we used to carry a lot of data, and other department used to ask us from the data. So someone had to take the bullet. So I was the one taking one there. I used to share all the data to the different uh, teams, different person asking the data. Managers would used to do it, and it was a very small team. Like 4 people were there in the team. I was the most junior one. I had to do it. Also, along with that, there was a thing called internal management P&L preparation. That wasn't for any statutory purposes, which we prepare every quarter end or every year end or month end, 6 months end. Management used to ask a balance sheet and a profit and loss for every month. So we used to do those activities as well. Also, there was like some audit related stuff like sending mails to the debtors, creditors. It was pretty much around the analysis part only. Also, you so what was there in the industrial training, they used to ask you ideas, what else we can do, what else you can find. Okay, and it's like financial planning analysis according to pharmacy companies very different. We cannot find the same role, exactly same work doing everywhere. There must be few things which will be same in different companies, but here like in a pharma company do several type of contracts, and we used to analyze that. All there was legal analysis involved as well. We used to analyze the legal contract with different companies. In and all, it was pretty much monotonous. I won't say monotonous. It was very dynamic work. I used to enjoy it a lot. But there were several activities like month-end activities which were monotonous. Also, as much as you are creative in a financial planning role, you'll enjoy. So as compared to my articleship, it was very much exciting. Thank you so much.
Okay, so to summarize it, please correct me if I am wrong somewhere. So it was like there are two parts. We can say it as financial reporting type, and second is analytical part. The reporting part included like preparing month-end reports and all, and the analytical part includes some finding some deficiencies and pointing out to management. Then some analytical roles like data creators and so on. So am I right?
Yeah, correct. To summarize it, yes. In a nutshell.
Yeah. So we can move on to next speaker. Manas, can you please unmute and share your experience?
So first of all, thank you and the Pune branch for giving me this opportunity. So actually, my role was in Hindalco was in this one of the startups of the Hindalco. Actually, the Hindalco is a well-established company of the Aditya Birla Group. but now they are entering into the various businesses as per the requirement of their business. So my role was in the startup named as Eternia in the Hindalco, which is in the business of aluminium windows and doors. So as the real estate market of the India is growing, the demand for the furniture and that doors and window is growing. So they are mainly into that. The traditional business of the Hindalco is that in the aluminium, copper, and other metals. But since they are exporting them or giving them as a raw material, so they are starting their business like they are doing their forward integration. The business of aluminium door and window is very new to the market. As the new real estate market is growing, this is the new trend, like UPVC and this aluminium window. They both are two competitors. So my reason to elect this Hindalco Industries was that because instead of going in an established company, I was going in an establishing SPU. It was just starting. It was started in March 2021. Like it is a part of the Hindalco only. It is wholly funded by the Hindalco. The billing and the payments are made in the name of the Hindalco only, but it is just a separate unit. Like we can say that it is a SBU. So in that we have to set up every process. So when I was called for the interview, they told me that we have to set up the processes, like for the payments, like every ERP processing. So it was like yeah, entering into a new business. So it gave me an opportunity to see that how a business runs in an initial phase. So I was not going into an established policies and procedures. I was going to establish them instead. So I found it very attractive and futuristic thing to do instead of going into a established. I got an offer from many like ITC also, but yeah, I preferred it for going into Hindalco Industries Limited. So in Hindalco Eternia, my main role was in the receivable management and my payable management. Since I had told earlier also that we were going to establishing the process, the customers were adding, the vendors were also adding. So we have to make a process that how we are going to receive the payment, what will be my credit policy, what will be my damage policy, if the material sent is damaged, and how my payments will be processed. Like in a listed company, there are many SOPs for making a payment. It goes through branch head and all various verifications. So we need to channelize it properly so that it can be done for our business. Apart from receivable and payables management, also got an opportunity to make the like internal financial statements of my SBU. It was also a very learning experience for me. Apart from it, it is a very learning experience that I am getting in the Hindalco because a new business faces a new problem every day. So it is an opportunity for me to how to get tackle it and get it to resolve it my level. So it is a good experience being in Hindalco.
Okay, so
Thank
to
you.
summarize it, it can be like what we do in internal audit or stat, we just keep on roll forwarding the previous year controls and policies. Like we just rely that it has been formulated firstly, so it might be correct. But here you are actually formulating it for the first time from scratch. So we can say that like that, right? Um,
Yeah, for my business I am making.
yeah. So and regarding receivables and payables management, you make various policies and all, right? And prepare monthly statements for it.
Yeah, the monthly statement, the aging one.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, thanks, Manas. We can proceed with Prabhav, the third speaker. Prabhav, you are not audible. Like, please unmute. Uh,
All the
yeah,
participants.
yeah, you are
Okay.
audible. Yes, you can start. I guess there is some network issue on his end. Uh, so we can go with Abhay and then we can come to you. Uh,
Okay, fine.
yeah. So Prabhav, we can go with you. The last one. You will be the last one. We can go with Abhay. Till that, you can check your connection settings around. Yeah, Abhay, you can start.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Good evening to all. Myself Abhay, currently pursuing industrial training at the supply chain business finance domain of Flipkart. So,
Yeah, I muted him.
so,
You can start.
huh,
Yeah.
okay. So firstly, I would like to brief you little about what this specifically business finance domain is. So business finance is it is a very new kind of profile in which now CS are being involved by the major companies. So earlier only the MBS from IIMs like uh, MBA finance people were working in these kinds of profile, but nowadays CAs are also being engaged in this profile by the corporates. So what this profile is, you can say that in a layman language, it is the business finance profile domain people works to support the regular operations of the business through the use of finance, like optimizing the businesses of the company. So these are, you can say, these are end-to-end working to initiate the more and more support the business of regular business operations of the company. So moving to what kind of work I do in this department. So I am currently working with the central losses team of the Flipkart, which is the supply chain losses team. So we are basically concerned about the supply chain losses. Like there are various kinds of losses which there are in the supply chain part, like frauds or misshipments or wrong shipments or wrong picking of goods, like goods being lost from the warehouses. So we are there to optimize these losses to lowest as possible, reporting these numbers, finalizing these numbers, and presenting in front of the managements, and also finding solutions to these solves to these problems. Like if there are, for example, there are warehouses where these numbers are spiking to a greater level, so we are responsible to implement solves as well, and also analyze whether these solves are working or not, and also present in front of the management, like to reduce the numbers to as much as possible. So this is what our team is responsible for. Our team comprises of around 8 people, out of which 4 are CAs and 3 are MBS and 1 CA intern. So like me, it is me. So talking about what is exactly I am doing, so you won't be that interested in knowing what the profile is. Rather, you would be interested in knowing what me as a CA intern would be doing there. So I am basically responsible for major inter warehouse movements, all the losses which are happening in the inter warehouse movements. Whenever there are, because Flipkart, there are various movements between the warehouses as well. So I am concerned with that types of losses, me and 1 CA from our team. So we are totally looking from end to end, we are looking on that losses. So it is not, since it's a startup, in startups, it's not like if you are an intern, you would be just doing the manual, the lower kinds of work. We are working together as a team, and there's nothing like he's a CA or I am not a CA. So it's a very good kind of exposure. Like we are working, we are working on the same role. So you can say, yeah. So my work is 10 to 20% of reporting, like reporting the regular numbers, and rest 70-80% is just implementing the solves and having meetings with, interacting with various teams in the Flipkart, like operations teams, quality team, and getting these numbers to reduce as much as possible. Analyzing and number crunching, like where are the major kinds of losses happening in the which warehouses, which hubs of India on the pan-India level. So we are responsible for that. So now coming to why I choose this profile for my industrial training. So I was offered around 4-5 industrial training from 4-5 companies, like corporate banking from HSBC, also taxman, Cummins, financial reporting profile, and also internal audit in EY as well. So why did I choose this profile is because I want a profile which is more inclined towards business, and I want to understand the more in a business, more of a business point of view, away from the regular profiles like auditing, taxation, in which you are mostly working only as a compliance part, in the compliance part, rather than being more involved in a business profile. I was looking for that. So so it is quite a good kind of exposure like I'm getting here. So now, so yeah, that's all about my profile and why I choose to go for Flipkart apart from any other company. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Abhay. So to summarize it, it is like when there are inter-warehouse movements and all, so there might be some leakages, like what might be the most efficient way to transport from one place to another. So your work is to determine that, like what is the most efficient way, and
Correct, correct.
yeah. So it
Yeah, finding leakages and finding loopholes and fixing that like that.
yeah. Understood.
Hmm.
So Prabhav, are you there? Can you start now?
Hello. Hi,
Yeah, you're
Manas.
audible.
Hi, I'm audible. So, is it a
Yeah,
problem? I won't be switching on my video or something. So, would it
yeah.
be
It will
okay?
go.
Because it's
Yeah.
creating
It
actually
will
some
work.
sort of network issue.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
sure.
will work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. So, myself, Prabhav, I'm currently working under PayU India. My department is FP&A, Financial Planning and Analysis. I'm associated with the Revenue Department of FP&A team. So, my work exposure is around analyzing the revenue projections, creating budgets, forecasting what actually we are going to achieve in next 6 months, and reporting to the top management how we're performing, how we are making the things, how what are the opportunities we are lying at. And so that is the more basic front of. So getting more deep into my role actually is analyzing the performance of the sales people of our company, how much targets they have been given, how their target has been progressed, how much they are achieving their targets, and how much opportunities they are bringing to the companies, new opportunities, what are the opportunities which is more sustainable, what are the opportunities which is more one-time opportunities. So these are the analysis we are creating and making sure where we can improve on, what opportunities we can get. So basically checking the performance of the salespeople, how they are doing, what are their forecasts, how they are going to achieve in next 12 months, next 6 months, next 3 months, and what their previous performance, and also validating the data that they are providing with respect to the revenue numbers that they expecting to bring from the customers. So we are analyzing those also. Next, we are checking. Next, and my role is creating profit and loss statement for the top customer. How we can make the customer more profitable? How can we can increase the gross margin level of those customers? What are the new product cross sell or further new sales we can make to those customers? Analyzing those, what are new products which are launching, and make what are the potential top customer, making sure that our profitability from the top customer
Uh, Prabhav, I guess we lost you.
as high as possible. The revenue reporting the all gross profits we are achieving, what are the trading profits. So it's a monthly process. Next, we are preparing the create monthly management presentations for the monthly review of the management. We are what they are expecting, what we have performed. So on the month on month level, we are actually responsible for all the LOBs as a company as a whole. So there are like 4 to 5 LOBs in our business. So we are responsible to what LOBs is performing and how well they are performing, how are the prediction of those LOBs, what are the regions we are performing on, what we are actually, there are 3 major regions we are working on is India, Southeast Asia, and North Africa. So how the performance on those regions is working. So we are preparing presentation on a monthly basis for that also. Next, we am involved in analyzing of industry. What are the competitors doing? What they are doing? What their decisions are? What new product they are launching? In which areas they are associated? What are the customer they are tying up? So we are analyzing those also, making sure what actual impact would be on our business and our doing. So this is the more of my roles. So the best thing, and on the operation level, the most of the work is involved using the monthly information system management. It's a reporting kind of role, which is kind of monotonous. Yes. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible. In between, we lost you for around 30 seconds. Yeah. Hello.
Meeting is being recorded.
Yeah. So, Prabhav, are you there?
Hi, I am sorry for the network issue.
Yeah.
It just simply got disconnected. Yeah. So where I was, and just last thing
You were on region-wise reporting and all.
okay. Thank you very much. So just a minute. Huh, yeah. So my region-wise reporting, it's to the management. Next, we are actually analyzing the competitors, what competitors are doing in our industry, what are the new products they are launching, what are the new customer types they are making with, and how that competition movement is impacting on our business, how much opportunities we are losing, how much opportunity we can create based on those new decisions by the competitors, what new product we can launch, is there any investment opportunities in those competitors as well. So analyzing is again not, I'm not totally responsible. Obviously, I'm working under management. On luckily, I'm having a really good management. Managers, they are from top. I am top B schools with the chartered accountant, so they are very really good team. So on the work, total by work is totally based on Excel. Analysis used in Excel, and next also we are trying to transition from Excel to different new tools which is available in the market, like Power BI, Power Automate, Power Pivot, Power Query, which is again part of it. So majorly we want to transfer the next phase of our process management, process of reporting in Power BI, Power using Power BI and Power App or Automate. Thanks to my manager, which actually gave me a opportunity to learn these this skills. There's to improve, so which will really help us to improve.
Yeah, Prabhav, can I just summarize it? Actually, you're not audible. Okay, so I will just summarize it and then we can just move on. So to summarize it, it goes like he's working in FP&A role in which the main role is budgeting versus forecast, and they're doing various analysis like about what competitors are doing, which regions are performing good, and what other sales people are doing based on it. And his team comprises of MBAs and chartered accountants, a mix of both. So the main work is oriented towards Excel. However, they often use other softwares like Power BI as well. So this is mainly the work which he's doing, and his FP&A role is mainly pursuing in revenue department. So yeah, so now we can just start with the rapid fire, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, Prabhav, are you there?
It's almost. Hi, I'm
Yeah,
okay. So it's all from my side. You can go for rapid
yeah, yeah.
fire session.
Yeah, so I would suggest that if there is some issue on your side, like if you're not audible now, you can just answer the rapid fire questions in the chat. So it will be better, like it will be more effective.
Hi, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Okay,
so the
sure.
first, yeah, so the first question, like the sequence will follow the same. The first answer will be given by Yash, followed by Manas, followed by Abhay, and the last one will be you, Prabhav. So you can, so till that you will also get a time to type in the chat box. Uh, so we can start the first question is, what is the stipend? Like, it is the most important question.
So
Do we can
are we allowed to disclose the number?
No, you if like it depends on company to company. So if it is not allowed, you can just give a range, like for example, 20 to 30K, like that.
So, okay, I'll just tell you the industry specifics. So there are top in IBs and like Goldman Sachs, HSBC, JP Morgan. They give you 40 to 60, I guess. And coming down, there is UBS, which pays slightly bit. Am I allowed to name companies? Will I be in trouble? I don't know. That pays slightly less. Then after all the companies which we are in, it comes in the later on slab. And then there are startups or like companies which are not exactly in the field of finance or any manufacturing or any industry specific, like any manufacturing industry. Uh, I won't name the company, you guys know. So there is then that slab coming down to 10 to 20,000. So there, this is the three ranges: 10 to 20, 25 to 40, then 40 to 60, the upper range.
Okay, so I guess you lie in the 25 to 41.
If you like, honestly, if you have the negotiation skills, you can talk to the HR and talk yourself out of that range. You can move to the later on one.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
did
Manas.
that.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, Manas. You can go.
Yeah, it's 30 to 40 for the established industries.
Okay, and Abhay.
It's 25, 25. Yeah.
Okay. Prabhav, you can type in chat. I guess delay types, we can go with the next question. What is the average working hours? Like, and what we can just link 2, 3 questions. Like, what is the average working hours? Then, how is the working environment? Like, are they supportive for your studies, the senior and team? And do we get time to study? Yeah, Prabhav, it is 30 to 30K in the industries in which Prabhav is working. Okay, yeah, you can go with the next question. Yes.
So my working hours was 12 to 8, the North American time. It's generally in like industries, which kind of industries which I'm working in, it's 7 to 8 hours only. On month end or in the month beginning, it may go up to 10 to 11 hours maximum. It never goes, it's never like in the CA offices. I'm sorry for that. But like in the audit period, you have to stay late in the office till 4 or 5 in the morning. You're working 14 hours a day. It's not like that in the industrial training. Or what was the other question? Sorry.
Yeah, what is the how is the work environment? Do we get to
Okay.
study and the seniors are supportive for your study or not? Like,
Okay. So if your seniors, honestly, if your seniors are chartered accountants in your team, so they'll know your struggle. They'll let you take leaves and all. They'll let you keep, okay, you can lock up, you can study now. I have classes to go in the morning or in the evening. If they are from the MBA background, they won't get it, but depends, honestly. My manager, I was blessed with a very nice manager, and she reduced my working hours to 6 by the end of my industry training. I actually completed it this December only. So it's all we can do is compare it with the articleship. So it's very lenient. It's very I would say it's very preferable for our studies because working hours very fixed. Apart from a few days when workload is a little more. So yeah, it's between 6 to 8 hours in short.
okay, yeah, Manas, you can go.
So my working hours was from 9:30 to 6:30 in the evening, and during that year end, that it was like I was in the office till 12 because we have to close the books in the 5 days of the year of the first 5 years. So sometimes it was only one or 2 days that I stayed in the office at that late, but generally I got free at 6:30 or 7 maximum. It was starting at 9:30 sharp. And talking about the environment, it was a very good environment since the head of our business was also a chartered accountant, and my manager and my immediate head was also chartered accountant. So they were always supporting me, and they also knowing that how we have to manage the things. So it was completely a supportive environment in that.
Okay, yeah, about Abhay, you can go.
So in Flipkart, since it's a startup company, they are working on a flexible working hours basis. So we don't have any restrictions when it comes to working hours. It's on our choice. Like we can work from 12 to 7, 11 to 6. But the only thing is the work has to be completed. So on an average, we work for 8 to 10 hours a day and totally off in weekends. Weekends are totally off. And yes, but 8 to 10 hours may extend to 12 as well for some days, like when we have monthly closing and all. So you can stay 8 to 10 hours max on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. And Prabhav has already written in chat. It is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it is a hybrid model. Okay, like work from
And
home.
also, yeah, work environment, if I say, yeah, so team is quite supportive for me also. So they are, means they totally support my studies and all as well. So I get support sufficient time for my studies as well. There's no such any like, yeah.
Okay. And in PayU India also, the management is very supportive and all of them are CA plus MBS. So all
Uh,
of them struggle.
yes, correct.
Yeah. So Prabhav has also written that. Yeah. We
Mm.
can just go with the next question. It is like what are the post qualification benefits? Like, for example, if we say in some industries, what happens if you are doing industrial training in that companies, they allow you certain benefits after completing your after qualifying. So, are there any benefits in your industries as well? We can go with Yash.
So yeah, there is a thing called PPU, pre-placement offer. Like if they like you way too much, they'll keep you as an employee after completion of industry training. But that is also conditional. Like and it is dependent on whether there is a vacancy at the completion of your industry training or not. I had a PPU in my hand, but it was conditional that I cleared both of my groups in November only, and that won't be possible for me because but leaves are very less in the industry training. So yeah, if you work well and your performance is good and your managers like you, surely you're going to end up with the PPO in hand. Also, if there is any vacancy, you might be knowing, like you can talk to the HR. If there is any vacancy in the company in some other department, you can apply for that too. So yeah, it gives you some benefits. Also, if like you are not planning to join Big Four, then you have industry experiences in your hand. Like I have Cipla in my CV, so I can move to RD in any other pharmacy company, and I have this pharma background with me, so I can work in that. Of course, it adds up.
Okay. Yeah, Manas, you can go on.
Uh, in document there is no such pre-placement offer to me, but yes, they were of the opinion like if you are like they liked my work, so if they say that if there will be something any vacancy, we will offer you. And also the many other people are not from my business because I had to interact with many departments. So they were also of the view like after completing your qualification, you can contact us. Apart from getting a pre-placement offer, I think I there were many benefits like making a contact with people sitting at the higher post that can help you in any other way in life or in any other path we are going. So there was no such offer for pre-placement, but the other benefits they are all up there.
Yeah, Abhay, you can go.
So in Flipkart also, there's a PPO thing as well in Flipkart, but that totally depends on your performance. Like if they like your work and there are vacancies, there are chances that you would be offered a PPO, but that totally depends on the performance. There are few seniors who got PPO and there are few seniors who didn't got any PPO. So totally depends. And yeah, well, coming to that brand name and all, and like Flipkart, so you would get definitely very good opportunities when it comes to outside the Flipkart as well, when after qualifying as a CA. So yeah, there's nothing like there are huge opportunities available.
Okay, and Prabhav has also answered. He says there is also a pre-placement offer in PayU India, and it depends. But however, it depends on performance and all. But if we associate more of ourselves to fintech, like he said, Power BI and all, so it is a greater chance, like to get in the same industry or in the same company. So yeah, we can move on with next question. It is it is one of the common questions. Do these industrial training companies require us to complete at least one course like advanced ITT or GNCS? And after joining, do they allow us leaves for it, or is it considered a study leave only?
Uh, Personally, I would recommend you should complete your MCS and advanced ITT before joining. I'm right now completing my. I just not came back from my advanced ITT batch. They do not like allow you to go on these 15 days vacation this training leaves. But you also well, depend on your terms with your manager. I did my MCS along with my industrial training. I used to be there at used to attend my MCS batch till 2:30, and I used to join my office back at 3. So depends, but I would personally recommend complete it in your articleship tenure only, as it won't be counted as leaves. Otherwise, industrial training, there is no such thing. Like they don't know about this thing. You have to do this advanced ITT and MCS also. So they don't. They will count this as your exam leave, which you will eventually take, and it will get deducted from somewhere. So yeah, you should complete it before joining.
Yeah, Manas.
Similar, like yes, there is no such provision of giving the leaves, like giving a 30-day leave in a 12-month or 13-month period, because their work gets stuck. And so my manager didn't allow to go, as it was decided earlier also that no such leave will be given. So I will also advise to complete it at least one training before going for industry.
Yeah, Abhay, you can start.
So same in case of Flipkart also, like it totally depends on manager. Like if the manager is okay, they might give you 15 days leave. But yeah, 30 days at once, it's not possible for them also. So it would be recommended that you should complete it before only, or you can complete it at the between after completing a 1.5 years and before joining the company. So you can delay your offer letter, and you can do some 15 days gap in that, and you can do like these kinds of these courses.
Yeah, and Prabhav has also answered. He says it is not necessary. They allow leaves for those training at office timing during the month, and he has completed both of them during like industrial training only.
Not office time. It's like off time during the month. It's not
Okay,
busy area.
okay. Yeah. Next question I would ask, like, what is the study leave, and is the study leave paid or unpaid?
In Cipla, the study leaves were unpaid, and they tell you the study leaves are for 3 months or 2 months or 4 months, whatever like the cases. It includes the exam dates as well. Like if they're providing you 3 months exam leave, so in 15 days you'll give, or in 10 days you'll give your exams. Those days are included, and those in Cipla it was unpaid. Some companies they pay you for the leaves. It depends like which company you're joining. It does make a difference at the end of the day. So, like, I would recommend join a company which gives you paid leaves. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, Manas. You can start.
In my company, it was a paid one, but there was a criteria that for every 12 months you work, you will get a 3-month paid leave. So, for example, they are offering a XYZ stipend, so they will adjust that in 15 months instead of giving that in 12 months. For example, they have decided to give XYZ amount in 12 months if you're getting. But if you will get a paid leave, then they will bifurcate into 15 months. It was like that criteria. For example, if you will work for 12 months, you will get 40,000 per month. But if you want a paid leave, then you will get 30,000 for 15 months. For every 12 months work, you will get 3 months of paid leave.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Abhay.
So in Flipkart, it is as per offer letter, it's 3 months, but it totally depends on your connect with the manager. If you have a good connect, you might get 4 months as well. We have few seniors who got 4 months as well, 4 months of exam leaves. So yeah, it totally depends. But yeah, minimum 3 months and maximum it can be 4 months. That is, and also yeah, it is totally paid leaves, paid, totally paid.
Yeah, Prabhav, can you answer?
For us is 2 to 3 months, but still we need to work on the regular small work, like couple of 2 3 days in a month. But still it's around 2 to 3 months. The still the important work, we need to work on those as well, the reporting things. That is kind of.
Okay, and it is paid or unpaid?
It's paid only. It's not very much clear. So actually, I'm not in the leave. So they initially told it is paid one, but now they are like discussing about the unpaid. So they're not very much clear about the thing. But
Okay,
it's unpaid only.
okay. Um, the next question we could have is like, what are the future benefits you could like? For example, as Yash already explained, okay, now he has Cipla on his profile. So this will be helping him in getting pharma companies more easily in future if he wants to pursue his career in that field. So based on this, like you could answer like what these companies would help you in getting roles. Or for example, you are in FP&A, so in what roles or in what industries you could have a scope in future? You could explain us that. Yes, yes, we can start with you.
Okay. So FP&A, I think definitely would help me get any financial analyst job. My plan was to get into a IB, honestly, but I didn't get one. I was getting Goldman and JP Morgan both, but the profiles were not preferred. They were paying me more, but I wanted to like join the analysis or the basic financial field. So eventually, the plan is to enter investment banking companies or private equity firms. So I think it would help me because analysis is one thing which is not taught in the like articleship part of our training. So this of course adds a value. And there is a like saying, there is a thing called like in our CA fraternity that articles newly passed started accountants who are not counted as like having any 3-year experience. The articleship experience counts nothing, like we are freshers, so this does count as 1-year experience. So of course I'll have certain base amount of salary to negotiate with the HR. Okay, I've got this amount when I was training, so I can ask for more, like according to the industry standard I can have a better offer letter in my hand because of the industry training. Yeah.
Yeah, Manas, you can go.
Yes, my article was from a mid-sized firm of my hometown. It was one of the reputed firms of my hometown, but yes, it was a mid-sized firm. So, but to get into the employment after the qualification, you need something different from others, those who are doing. If you ever have a tag of Big Four, then it's okay. But if you are from a mid-sized firm, then I think it's get mandatory for you to get the big names if you are getting an industrial training. So my main reason of doing that was this only, to at least have something on my CV that makes me different from the others. And also that having a corporate experience for 1 year gives you an edge over the company and its policy, and understanding that how actually the MNC works, because the environment of being an article and being an industrial training is totally different. So I think it helps us to even do better in our initial years of the post qualification experience.
Okay. Yes, Abhay, let's start.
So being in business finance profile, it would definitely help you to get into like MBB, McKinsey, Bain, or BCG, like kind of profiles management consultancy. And also it would definitely help to get into profiles which are more inclined towards business, like internal audit, risk advisory. So this system, I guess these can be the profiles which can suit our skill sets, which are acquired during our industrial training. And also other also the supply chain companies also would prefer me because I have a complete knowledge of supply chain as well. So for example, legal logistic companies also might prefer me over any other candidate. So these can be the major like advantages of pursuing industrial through Flipkart. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Prabhav, you can speak.
For working under FP&E, so FP&E is really having a good opportunity scope in the top management role across the company, across other top companies, and also being associated with the fintech company really helped me to get into IBs for industry specific funds or industry specific trading. So which is really important, which is really good, and being associated with the financial analysis, so I'm much more better prepared for the more analytical part of the business. So it is really going to help me in the top position across top companies. Yeah.
Okay. Last question in rapid fire, we could have like, what are other departments in your companies, if you might know, in which they hire industrial trainees? Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
like I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Like for example, if there are supposed three profiles, one is reporting, one is FP&A, one is business finance. So
Okay.
you are in FP&A, for example. So in
Okay.
which other profiles they hire industrial trainees rather than FP&A?
In my company.
Yeah.
Okay. So they used to hire in internal audit, direct taxation, indirect taxation, payroll, I guess, and that's all the departments that I know of. Yeah.
Yeah. Manas.
Hindalco hires mainly in the supply chain department. I was in a finance, and the other one is in supply chain mainly hired.
Okay. Yes, Abhay, you can go.
So they hire in treasury functions and uh, accounting teams, controllership teams, and also in the business finance category, business finance, we have specific category-wise business finance teams as well in that also. And in the business finance, there are specific departments like, so there are like many departments in which they hire industrial teams.
Yeah, Prabhav.
They for new roles they hire on like business strategy, which is very interesting one. They hire on business analysis of different LOBs, which is again interesting, and other like controllership, FP&A, and uh, uh, direct taxation, receivables, payables. So these are the areas they actually have. Yeah.
Okay. So lastly, we would just start with how was your interview process? Like, how was your interview journey? Do you had something in your CV that helped you land in that role? For example, for Prabhav case, we can say like he was already well versed with Power BI, so it helped him in getting that role more easily. So you could explain us these two factors, like what is the interview process, firstly, where we can find the vacancy, and last is, do you had something in CV that was unique?
So in total, I gave 11 interviews before joining Cipla, and Cipla obviously wasn't like my first preference. The first interview was that I gave was Goldman Sachs. I really wanted to get into that, but I choked in that interview. Being my first interview, I wasn't very sure how to be presentable at that time. Um, Also, I gave like I used to give interviews irrespective of the fact whether I want to join the company or not. I used to give it for the experience purposes. I did get selected in many of them. I got selected in JP Morgan as well, but I didn't like the role, so I gave up. I didn't take the offer. And my interview process, honestly, in the interviewer knows are you gonna get hired or not. So they just ask you very basic questions related to the role. Few accounting, like depends. Like if you're going in accounting, they ask you few accounting journal entries or just the basic stuff. The things they're gonna ask from is the CV. Stick to your CV. Don't write anything which you're not. Don't try to like fake it on your CV. They will ask the question and they will know whether you have written like whether you actually know it or you are just faking it there. So in my CV, I am like self-taught technical and stock market technical analyst. And the person who took my interview was the director, was the head of a team, and he was working directly under the CFO. So he didn't ask me any question about the role, what I was doing, where I was working, what my experiences are. He just saw the stock market thing. We just discussed what's going to happen in the next week of it was a Monday, I guess. So we just discussed what's going to happen this week in the market. And he really liked me. And the final skill that got me the job was Excel, MS Excel. So Cipla is not that like using that automation software. Most things we use is Power BI, Excel, and macros like VB and coding. So they asked me, what will you give yourself out of 10 in Excel? I was like, I'm going to say 9. One, for the things which I don't know, I have to Google it. So I'm very good at Excel. I'd never use my mouse. They were like, okay, good, you are hired. We'll let you know. We'll give you an offer letter. So yeah, that's the thing. Like the extra activities I used to do and the Excel thing got me the job.
Okay, so what matlab, are there some questions from CA final, some subjects like for example Indes or FRS and like that?
Yeah, they do ask questions from like SFM and FR to be specific, like DCF, they'll ask discounted cash flow, or they'll ask any like Index 109 is asked, questions from revenue recognition is asked a lot of times. But in my interview, it wasn't like that. It depends on the mood of the interviewer, what he's gonna ask. If he finds something very interesting from your CV, he'll just start capping answers, questions from that only. But they do generally ask like one time I gave an interview in ST Media. It was for indirect taxation role, and I was before that I was working in my articleship in the indirect taxation role only. So they asked me the specific section numbers for the GST refund. They got that deep, and they wanted to know. They wanted to check my knowledge in the indirect taxation. They knew I was working in the litigation field as well. They asked me the form numbers. They asked me what the portal is. Depends what role you're applying for and how the interviewer is.
Okay, okay. Manas, you can go ahead.
The main thing that they asked was related to my articleship, like what I have written on my CV, that I knew that I have actually done it or not. For example, I did a tax audit of one of the listed companies, so they asked me the clauses of tax audit, one or two tax audit clauses, that how will you deal with it. So, and mainly the general that for it was like shifting to the Mumbai for the industrial training, that will you be able to manage? You will not say I can't after getting an offer letter. So like this, and the mainly technical was from my CV only. If I have written some extracurricular activities on it, they asked me the thing related to it. So the main point is that like if you have written something on your CV, you must know it. You must written it true. You must not written it like that only. So this is the main thing that I learned from that interview process, that you should write what is true in your CV, and you must have the knowledge of it, and the audits or any return you have done or any field of work that you have done in your articleship or any extra thing you have done. Kindly be it
Yeah,
true, and you have a knowledge of each and every word written on the CV.
yeah, and I would like to ask the same question, like, is the CA final subjects like FR, SFM, do they ask something from them?
No, not in my case. They asked, but yes, there was application of some of the concepts of SFM in my working. So if you will not know that time of doing the work, so it will reflect. So
Okay,
in my case, there was no question from CA final. It was mainly from the articleship experience.
okay. Yeah, Abhay, good to go.
So in the case of Flipkart, it's like quite a strange interview process. There's only half an hour round. There's only one round, and they just bring to you a few case studies, 2 or 3 case studies, like what you would do in these kinds of scenarios specific. They just test our what kind of like what how are we thinking, how we are finding solutions to the problem, and in a half an hour interview they just finalize the candidate. That's it. There's no much there are no 3-4 rounds of interviews, and the main thing is getting your CV shortlisted. So CV is a thing which I guess that is the main thing which will bring you to the interview table. So I guess that is a thing which most of the candidates lack in it. Like they don't give that importance to CV, but they should. But literally, I got my CV reviewed by 7-8 industrial training from top corporates. So it is the main thing that will bring you to the table of interviewers. So it depends. Means it's not that of interview process like, but you can crack if you have that kind of skill set. Like that is it.
Okay, yeah. So, Prabhav, you can start.
For me, they were much very interested in the what work I have done in my articleship period. I was also associated with a mid-sized firm in my hometown, but they were interested in how I'm understanding the businesses that I've done the audit. They were not interested in the compliance process. They were interested in the what are the analysis you can drive out of the businesses that you have audited. So this kind of understand, this kind of analytical thing they were looking for. So which is again important thing, that just don't do a compliance, but also understand what businesses that you are auditing, how you are well understanding that business. So that is the important thing. Next, how we have contributed into your CA firm, that how you have improved any process. Is there any addition to the existing process that you have added in your articleship firm, like using different new softwares in the articleship firm, which they are interested in those achievements also, because they are doing something new for the firm. And from the questions from the CA final, they were interested in the SFM subjects, basically the valuation, related valuation, the other things. And the last thing, they were interested in the how well you understand the competitors, how well you understand the industry. So what are the products that we are providing as launching? So they were interested in these areas.
Okay, we could just have now last question, and then we will open the floor for
Gupta, I
audience to
wanted to
ask.
add something
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
So there
yeah.
is a thing called psychometric test, which these new IBs like HSBC used to do that long before, and like JP Morgan is also doing it, and Goldman is doing it now. There's a thing called psychometric test, which like gives you multiple like 100, 200 MCQs to check how will you perform under pressure, and you will get eliminated there. I got eliminated in the HSBC's interview and the psychometric now. So there is this thing called that is added also, and several companies opting towards it. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the inputs. We can now have the last question, and then we will open the floor for audience. It is like, how did you find vacancies in some companies, and do we need some reference, or are there some like from website also we can directly apply and all? Yeah.
So the biggest helping hand in finding industrial training is LinkedIn. Be active on LinkedIn, make connections, find people who are working there, make them like connections. Don't just straight away ask for a vacancy. Ask them how they're doing. They'll definitely get annoyed if you ask for a vacancy. Can you get me hired? Ask them how they're doing. Let me know. Let them know you're like free to work, and they'll let you know if there is any vacancy. Make post. Make your profile open to work. Then there is Naukri.com. Then there are like WhatsApp groups, unofficial groups available, not from ICI, from different people available on the WhatsApp where vacancies come on a regular basis. Give interviews. References, I don't know whether they work or not. It didn't work for me. I had no references. But surely people know, people do. Like a person got person I know got into a company because that company was in his hometown, and he knew some people in the accounts office, and he got a job. He's working there as an industry trainee. So I think sure it might be working for some people, but why to find an easy way. So,
Yeah, Manas.
At the same, the LinkedIn is the main source of getting any industry vacancy information nowadays. Also, I had many groups on LinkedIn and the WhatsApp, the unofficial one only for that uh, vacancies. And getting a referral, if you can get a referral and see that not just you have a person working in that company, see that if you get to work in that company or not. If you want to, just because you have a reference, you please don't go there. Because I have a reference, I can go there. You must see that the job profile and the working, you must also see that. If you have a reference and you're willing to work it, then it's okay. Getting a reference always works because your CV got selected, your CV got reviewed at least, because there are many CVs that come because I was also in one of the vacancy, I was also seeing the interviews. So in a day or two, you get hundreds of CVs. So it's not possible to see all the CVs, but if there is a reference, then at least your CV can be reviewed. So this is the benefit of getting a reference, and also that if, in some companies, if you're getting a reference, there is some direct recruitment, but there is very less chances, and the companies also are not finding that they do like this. But getting a reference is a great, but you can also try to make a connection on the LinkedIn, ask the people to how the working is there, and getting to know about the industries, their working environments, and all. And many messages I got on the LinkedIn like state that getting that what is the stipend. I think that is not a way that one should give to either industrial training or any job, because it's okay the stipend is financially, but the main thing is the learning in the training period. So this we should avoid, and yeah, make the connection and get a reference if you can.
Yeah, Abhay can go.
So yeah, a similar answer to this question, like major sources LinkedIn and Telegram groups, obviously. And also what I say is also we should more means connect with those people, like we often see many posts like have been selected to this and that, and I would like to thank these people. So I was connecting with those people, like with their thinking, like those people have would have might help in reference or some way. So I would be I was connecting to those people and talking with them, like if there are vacancies, further more vacancies. So we used to get to know, like if there are vacancies, they obviously tell you like, yeah, there are some vacancies. So like this way you can connect to more and more people over LinkedIn and also Telegram groups. There are vacancies posted from by many companies and many industrial trainees who are working in those companies.
Okay. So, Prabhav, you can go.
So you get to know from LinkedIn and Telegram. That's the
Yeah, Prabhav.
So I got the opportunity from the ICI portal for industry training, which is very really good portal, and there are a lot of opportunities out there, and we don't even need any referral or any sort of posting up there. So I got pay opportunity from there, and apart from that, the LinkedIn, WhatsApp group, and Telegram groups are also a good platform to get the information about the new vacancies in the articleship industry training sector. So these are the areas, platforms.
Okay. So now I would request the audience if they had some questions and also they can post in Q&A section. So I will ask them. We will wait for 2 minutes if we have some
I would
questions.
like to add the cold mailing wala thing
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Like for the recruitment purpose of finding industrial training. Try cold mailing also. My friend is working with Cred as an industrial training. No one would imagine that, like, but he's working with Cred. So yeah, cold mailing is one of the best things.
Yeah. So regarding questions, um, Rushiraj has a question. He asked question to all speaker. Is it for a? He's asking that is industrial training for a job oriented person? Because some of the CA faculties told him that if you want to be a CA in practice, so you should not join industrial training and you should continue with the articleship only. So what are your views? Like anyone or any two of you can answer. Um, Yash, if you want, you can answer. And yeah.
Actually, like uh, if like you are sticking to the plan and your plan is not to go for any kind of job, you're very sure after becoming a chartered accountant you start with your own practice, then of course don't go for it. You won't be needing knowledge of the like big corporates how they're operating, because initially whatever, like if you're starting a firm at a low level, it will be a sole proprietorship. Being a mid-sized small firm, you should definitely know how a firm operates, but at the end of the day, like it's like a good experience to have. You will have a value addition to your CV. It is definitely going to add up somewhere. Definitely not in for working in a sole proprietorship firm, but like in a big corporate, you will get to know how things are getting done on an automation basis. Like they try to save time as much as possible, try to save manpower as much as possible, try to things on an autonomous basis. And like you'll get to know, you like can apply those big things in a small firm. So and like of course you will be have like diversity on your CV. It will definitely add up value. If you end up changing your plan, you are like, yeah, I don't want to open a firm now, I want to get a job. It definitely will add up value. So it won't go any waste, but yeah, it doesn't have any particular characters of value, particular value addition for opening a firm. So
Okay. Yeah. Any one of you would like to answer the same question? Like Manas or Abhay, anyone can answer, or Prabhav also.
Yeah, I think if you even if you are planning for a practice, you should do at least industrial training for 1 year because you are in a mid-size for 2 years, you are in a firm for 2 years, but getting an industrial training can benefit you in starting your firm also, because you come to know about the businesses, how to make the connections, how the big corporates operate, and how you should and what should be your SOPs, because you are going to start your business, you are going to start your own practice. So I think it will help you in a way or two. In today or tomorrow, it will definitely going to help you. Just because you have make your mind to go for a practice, it I think it should not hinder your thinking to not to go for industrial. If you're getting an opportunity, you must go, because there is no harm in going that. It will give you an edge over it. And also, today or tomorrow, because I have seen many people who start their practice after experience of 2 years in a corporate. They say, okay, I now know how the corporates work. Now I can start my own business. So if you're getting that experience in your 3 years of the compulsory industrial training, then I think it will definitely be going to help you. Because today also the people say you should do job at least for 1 year before even starting your own business. Because in this dynamic world, I think how the industry is changing, we should know, even if you are a practicing chartered accountant, you should know.
Okay. So next question is, okay, are there are less chances of getting selected as an industrial trainee if you have done your articleship from a small firm? So Abhay, you and Prabhav, you both could answer this question.
So no, it's not the thing. Like I also did my articleship from an boutique firm, indirect taxation boutique firm, which is a totally mid-sized firm with 4 5 CAs only. So it's not the thing like if you're a mid-sized firm, they won't consider you. Yeah, some companies put a criteria like you should have done your articleship from Big Four only, but major of the companies don't put that as a criteria. So if you have a good CV and also you crack the interviews rounds, so there won't be an issue like getting a good company. You would definitely land into a decent one. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhav, would you like to answer?
So I also want to add on that because I also belong to a kind of small company, small firm. But for industrial training, they are much interested in your knowledge and any add-on that you have made on your CV. So they are more interested in that rather than what kind of firm you are associated with. What knowledge you are having is more priority or any other things.
Okay. The next question is, if a person is working in a Big Four, will you recommend to go for industrial training as they already have corporate experience and they are not sure, like after post qualification, whether they will be joining the industry or not? So yes, you could answer this, and followed by
Uh,
Manas. Yeah, you both could answer.
So, like, uh, I don't know what's your motive. Like, my motive was I was working in a mid-sized firm and I wanted to add a brand value to my CV. I wanted to add a brand name. That's why I got into industrial training. As you're already working in a big four and you already have a brand value attached to you, I don't know whether you should go in industrial training or not. It's your personal choice, but of course, like, it doesn't matter. I asked many people. I wanted to go back in Big Four eventually, and I want join industrial training. I asked my seniors whether I'll be able to do that. Like, I am now working in industry. Will I be able to get back to that order in industry? They're like, it's not a biggie. You can do that anytime. So you also like working in industry will ease up things for you. Big Four than much hectic, I guess. As I've heard, I've not worked there honestly. So what is it like? You can. It's personal choice also, and like, if you're getting a very good option, then you should. I think yeah.
Okay, yeah, Manas, if you want, you could answer.
Yeah, if you are working already working in a big four, there is no need. I think your CV is itself a very good, having a very good name. So if you have an interest in that field in which the industrial training is offered, or you want some change, like you want to experience the industrial training, then it's only. But for getting a job orientation or any other reason, there is no need. It's because you have a big four, and also that the working environment, you are already auditing and working with that corporates only in which you are getting the industrial training, in which you are seeking the industrial training. So you will automatically come to know about their working and what are their businesses and all. So it's discretionary on your part.
Like after like a fresh chartered accountant, either from Big Four or any mid-size or small firm, it's called a fresher, right? But when you work in the industry, you're in industrial training. You're not called a fresher. You have a 1 year work tax on your CV, so that's a value addition there.
Yeah, that's the valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will wait for 1 more minute. If there are some questions, we could see, or we could end up the session. Minimum and maximum tenure, I guess it is now, it is 18 months. Before it was 12 months. And like maximum is 18 months and minimum is, I guess, 12 months. No? Like in industry will not prefer for 9 months or 8 months. They will prefer at least for 12
Yeah.
months.
It is ranging from 9 to 18 months, but the companies want their employee turnover to be less. So they're preferring 18 months now.
Okay. And one person is asking, how did you decide what field or department? For example, Abhay said that he is in loss analysis department. You want to pursue industrial training. I guess we already covered this, but still you could answer in a summarized way.
So it totally depends, like which field you are interested in. If you have some like experience, if you want to go in consultancy or business inclined roles, then industrial training in the business oriented, like business finance or internal audit or risk advisory, this kind of roles would suit you. Or if you want to go into finance side, like IB or IB side, so then like the profile like Credit Suisse or Edelweiss Securities, this profile might suit your requirements. So it totally depends on your preferences and your choices, like which field you are interested in. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any other questions? We can wait for last 1 minute. So Sakshi has also given us the link like ICA portal ka. So I've also pinged that in the chat if anyone wants for reference. One person is asking, sort of like one of the biggest cons of industrial training is exam leave. Like it is a very short leave. So do you agree on it? I guess everyone of us will agree on that.
Like it depends on the person. If you are hardworking, and I'll tell you a story. My friend was working. He's a chartered accountant now. Working in Goldman Sachs. He was in Bangalore, work from office. He used to reach the office at 6 in the morning and leave at 12 in the night. He just used to go to his PG to sleep. He was studying at 6 in the morning in the office, and after 8 he was studying in the office because travel in Bangalore is very hectic. And he cracked first group with just 1 week of like just exam. Can you imagine? Final first group, no leaves. Depend on how much hard you're working.
And also it would depend on like kind of preparation you did during
Yeah.
articleship times. If you have started your studies on the right time, then there won't be an issue like completing studies before industrial training. And 3 month leave would be sufficient if you have completed your classes and also you have finished at least a single revision, then also it would be sufficient for you to cover the syllabus in 3 months. Like, yeah. And also if you have a good connect, these 3 months might extend to 3 or 3.5 and 4, depends on your manager as well. So depends like.
So yeah, we could now end the session. So thank you, Yash. Thank you, Manav. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhav.
Tom.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
great. It was great interacting with you all. Prabhav, can you please turn your camera on so we could just click picture if it's possible.
Is it?
No, it's not visible. Okay, you send me, I will edit it and then no problem. Yeah. So thank you everyone. Thank you for the session. I hope everyone has got some new insights. And thank you our speakers for sparing their time and coming us to guide you all. Thank you. That's
Thank you. Thank you, Taha. Thank you, Pune.